You won't. If we do not stop the Dark One now.
Let's be honest, we've all skipped shows that didn't hook us in the trailer, or just got lost in the endless scroll. But some of the best fantasy series are the ones you didn't press play on yet. From gritty supernatural drama to animated chaos and epic world building. This list is packed with Prime Video fantasy shows you've probably heard of, maybe even bookmarked, but never gave a real chance. Maybe this is the push you needed. Let's get into the top 10 fantasy shows you've been sleeping on. Number 10, The Outpost.
Dead or alive? Find me that black blood!
After her people are slaughtered, Talon, the last of the Black Bloods, journeys to a remote fortress at the edge of civilization. But this isn't just a story of revenge. It's about unlocking powers she never knew she had. The Outpost mixes gritty swords and sorcery fantasy with political intrigue and dark magic. Originally airing on the CW, it ran for 4 seasons, 2018 to 2021, before being canceled after 49 episodes. Though the budget was clearly stretched, its ambition was undeniable. If you missed the tone of early Xena or Legend of the Seeker, this one might surprise you. It's not prestige TV, but it doesn't pretend to be. Instead, it throws you into a mythic world with ancient prophecies, shadowy orders, and a lead character who fights for more than just vengeance. Number 9, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
Without it, what am I to be?
Set thousands of years before the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, this sweeping fantasy epic dives deep into Tolkien's Second Age, where alliances are forged, rings are crafted, and evil quietly rises. With 2 seasons released so far and a 3rd in production, The Rings of Power is one of the most ambitious shows ever made, both in scale and cost. It introduces younger versions of familiar characters like Galadriel and Elrond, while building new arcs across elves, dwarves, humans, and Harfoots. The visuals are lavish, the score is stirring, and the scope feels massive, even when the pacing can test your patience. This isn't Peter Jackson's version of Middle-earth, but it's clearly designed to echo it. If you skipped it the first time around, now might be the time to give it a second look. Number 8, The Wheel of Time.
Can't allow it.
Based on Robert Jordan's sprawling 14-book epic, The Wheel of Time set out to be Prime Video's answer to high fantasy, and for 3 seasons, it got impressively close. The series follows Moiraine, a mysterious Aes Sedai, as she searches for the Dragon Reborn, a figure prophesied to either save the world or destroy it. Led by Rosamund Pike, the show blends political intrigue, ancient prophecy, and elemental magic into a massive world that spans kingdoms, cultures, and timelines. With a massive ensemble cast and some of the most ambitious visual effects on Prime, it found its stride in later seasons, just in time to be canceled. Still, its final arc landed strong, and it remains a binge-worthy gem for anyone craving rich lore and layered storytelling. If you haven't jumped in yet, this might be your last chance to see the wheel turn. Number 7, The Librarians. If Indiana Jones, Doctor Who, and a stack of mythology books had a magical baby, it would be The Librarians. Running for 4 seasons between 2014 and 2018, this fantasy adventure series is a spin-off of the Librarian film trilogy, and centers on a team of misfits recruited by a secret organization that protects the world from magical threats. Each episode dives into folklore, artifacts, and alternate histories, mixing light-hearted adventure with a surprising amount of heart and character growth. Rebecca Roman, Christian Kane, Lindy Booth, and John Harlan Kim make up the core cast, alongside John Larroquette and occasional appearances from Noah Weil. While it was canceled by TNT, the show's charm and creativity earned it a cult following, and even a recent spin-off, The Next Chapter. If you missed it the first time, now's a great time to step into the library. Number 6, Heroes. Before The Boys, before Invincible, there was Heroes, a superhero series that dared to ask what it would look like if ordinary people suddenly discovered they were extraordinary. Premiering in 2006, it ran for 4 seasons and followed characters from around the globe who developed strange abilities after a solar eclipse. From time travel to regeneration, telepathy to flight, each character's journey felt personal, emotional, and thrillingly unpredictable. The ensemble cast included breakout turns from Milo Ventimiglia, Hayden Panettiere, Mazioka, and Zachary Quinto as the terrifying villain Sylar. While the later seasons stumbled, the first remains iconic, with "Save the cheerleader, save the world" becoming a pop culture rally cry. If you missed the show that redefined network superhero storytelling, Heroes still deserves a binge. Number 5. Carnival Row.
Open up the door and fade into the light.
Carnival Row is one of those shows that builds a world so rich, you can practically feel the fog and cobblestone under your feet. Running for 2 seasons from 2019 to 2023, this urban fantasy blends neo-noir crime drama with steampunk aesthetics, telling a story of mythological creatures forced into refugee status in a human world that barely tolerates them. Orlando Bloom plays a war-weary detective with a secret, and Cara Delevingne is a rebellious fae trying to survive in the growing tension. There's murder, revolution, forbidden love, and political scheming all wrapped in lavish production design. Though it ended earlier than fans hoped, Carnival Row stuck the landing with a sweeping finale that closed out its themes of identity, power, and resistance. If you skipped this one, time to fix that. Number 4. Penny Dreadful. If you like your fantasy soaked in blood, poetry, and gothic madness, Penny Dreadful is the show you've probably heard of, but maybe never pressed play on. Running for 3 seasons from 2014 to 2016, it weaves together iconic literary characters like Frankenstein, Dracula, Dorian Gray, and more into one dark, beautiful nightmare set in Victorian London. Eva Green gives a powerhouse performance as Vanessa Ives, a woman haunted by demons, both real and metaphorical, while a stellar cast that includes Josh Hartnett and Timothy Dalton grounds the supernatural in emotional weight. What makes this series stand out isn't just the monsters, it's the atmosphere, the elegance, the existential pain. It's horror as high art, equal parts eerie and tragic. Few shows ever dared to be this weird, this theatrical, or this emotionally rich. Number 3. The Originals.
Why don't you show me what you've done with the place while you tell me exactly what it is you've been up to in my town?
You may know The Originals as a spin-off of The Vampire Diaries, but it quickly grew into its own rich, emotional, and brutal fantasy epic. Centered around the Mikhaelson family, vampire royalty, and the first of their kind, this series takes you deep into the supernatural underbelly of New Orleans. Family loyalty, betrayal, and centuries-old secrets fuel 5 seasons of witches, werewolves, and immortal drama. At its heart is Klaus, a hybrid torn between power and protecting his daughter, Hope, whose birth changes everything. With Shakespearean weight and a cast that truly commits, The Originals isn't just another teen vampire show. It's darker, deeper, and filled with mythic stakes. If you skipped this one, thinking it was just more CW fluff, it's time to reconsider. Number 2. Undone.
And I'm terrified this is all there is.
Undone isn't just another animated series. It's a mind-bending, genre-defying trip through grief, time, and fractured realities. Released in 2019 and created by BoJack Horseman alumni Kate Purdy and Raphael Bob Waksberg, this Amazon original ran for 2 critically acclaimed seasons. Using rotoscope animation, it follows Alma, voiced by Rosa Salazar, a woman who survives a near-fatal car crash and suddenly finds herself unstuck in time, guided by the ghost of her father, played by Bob Odenkirk. What unfolds is part sci-fi, part family drama, and part existential puzzle. With its dreamlike visuals and tight 20-minute episodes, Undone explores trauma, mental health, and the multiverse without ever feeling gimmicky. It's a rare show that's both visually experimental and emotionally grounded. If you missed it, you missed something truly special. Number 1. The Legend of Vox Machina. Adapted from the hit Dungeons & Dragons campaign by Critical Role, The Legend of Vox Machina is adult animation done right. It first premiered in 2022 and has released 3 seasons so far, with a 4th on the way and a 5th and final already greenlit. What began as a crowdfunded labor of love quickly became a streaming favorite thanks to its razor-sharp writing, explosive action, and surprisingly heartfelt character arcs. The story follows a ragtag group of misfits turned heroes, complete with gory battles, magic-fueled chaos, and gut-punch emotional stakes. If you're a fan of fantasy that's equal parts hilarious and harrowing, this is the series you've probably heard about but never started. It's time to change that, because Vox Machina doesn't just slay dragons, it slays expectations.
They are the Legendary Legion.
And that's a wrap on our countdown of fantasy shows you've been sleeping on. From ancient prophecies to animated chaos, steampunk cities to gothic nightmares, these Prime Video gems prove that great fantasy doesn't always come with a marketing blitz. Sometimes it's just waiting for the right moment, and maybe that moment is now.
What can we do?
We protect the people.
If you found your next binge on this list, hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden gems, and ring the bell so you never miss what's next. Got a fantasy show that deserves a spotlight? Drop it in the comments. We're always hunting for the next world to dive into. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the couch.